Data breaches, including the Equifax breach, have some people worried about tax identity theft this year, especially because if you become a victim, there may not be a quick fix. Fox 43 finds out how you can prevent crooks from filing on your behalf. When we talk about taxes, we're typically talking about a deadline around April 15th. This year, though, experts say you need to file your tax return as soon as possible. And it's all because of the risk of tax identity theft, thanks to recent data breaches.
It's something that you never know until actually your return is submitted and it's rejected.
Mary Smith has been working at H&R Block in Harrisburg for years. She expects more people to come in this year, concerned about tax identity theft. Even the Federal Trade Commission is suggesting hacking victims should file early. And a big reason for that is the Equifax data breach. More than 145 million people were impacted, including 5.5 million in Pennsylvania. Social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and driver's license numbers all compromised.
If someone got my social security number in one of these data breaches or one of these hacks, is it pretty simple for them to file a tax return on my behalf?
Yes, it is. Very simple.
The reason it's so simple? The internet.
Where the tax identity theft could come in is because a lot of people will file their returns electronically and never really see a person. So that way there's nobody really looking at their information and it just goes through electronically.
If someone has already filed a return on your behalf, you have to deal with the IRS.
It can be very confusing, the terminology and what to expect, what to do, the forms.
The IRS does have some protections, like an identity theft PIN. However, you can only get one if you've already been identified as a victim of a tax-related ID theft. The IRS even states, quote, not every data breach results in identity theft, and not every identity theft is tax-related identity theft. Which means even if you know your data was compromised during the Equifax hack, some Pennsylvanians probably won't get an IP PIN. So you'll have to find another type of tax ID protection, which plenty of companies offer for a price. H&R Block's is called Identity Shield, something Smith says could help you if you become a tax ID victim.
We have a department that will actually help someone get in contact with the IRS. There's forms that need to be completed, help them to get their identity back, and just help them work through that whole process.
A lot of the other major tax firms also offer something similar, usually all with an additional fee. Even with all of the talk about tax ID theft, back at the H&R Block in Harrisburg, Smith expects a steady flow of people looking to file their tax returns all season long.
I won't say that they're fearful, but we do have clients that try to take all the steps they can to make sure that their tax information is secure.
And of course, since we're in tax season, we need to talk about the good old IRS scams. These scams are becoming more and more sophisticated, so even if you thought, oh, I won't fall for that, you just never know. These are some things to keep in mind. The IRS will contact you by mail first before any phone calls ever happen. It also won't specify a way for you to make a payment, like a gift card, money transfer, or prepaid debit card. And if you do get a call from the IRS that might seem legitimate, write down all of the details from that call and then call the IRS at 1-800-829-1040. Now, there is a scam out there right now that looks like your tax return has been put into your bank account. Turns out it's bogus. And obviously, if you haven't filed your tax return yet, then you're like, okay, that seems, but if you've already filed and then all of a sudden you get money in your account, you think that's legitimate. Well, turns out that's another scam. This one, very complicated, all different steps to follow, so we have all that information on our website.
I'm not sure which end to keep up anymore with all the scams and identity theft. I do know the phone calls I get threatening to throw me in jail if I don't return the IRS's call.
The problem is now, especially with
the
this
thick accents, those are pretty.
Those are pretty.
Those I can figure out.
Yeah, but especially the way it is now with so many of our social security numbers being out there, you can do a lot of damage once you have that person's social security number. That's how we identify ourselves. So once that's out there, these people can get into your bank accounts and put what looks like fake money in there.
Wow, because filing your taxes isn't complicated enough. So this is a lot.
So again, if you have any questions, your best resource right now is to contact the IRS. But don't be surprised if you're put on hold, because you're not the only one dealing with that problem. You can also contact me if you have a story you want me to look into. Fox 43 does want to find out. Let me know, send me a message on Facebook, or shoot me an email at fox43findsout@fox43.com.